A dejected and dreary Megyn Kelly was spotted making her way back to her louxury apartment in Manhattan's Upper West Side on Wednesday after apologizing on air for her comments on blackface. The Today host, 47, kept her head down and her eyes on her cell phone as she walked into the building, where she and her husband Doug Brunt live with their 3 children. Kelly was accompanied by her building employee, but could not be seen engaging with him in the photos. Brunt was also spotted earlier in the day in photos obtained by dailymail.com, leaving the NBC studios in Midtown around 11 a.m. after accompanying his wife to work. His wife did not return home until just before 4 p.m. however, and quickly made her way from her car into the apartment building. Scroll down for video. Walk in the classic Rag Bone Newbury boots like Megyn. $495 Rag Bone Newbury boots, get them her now. By now Megyn Kelly is withstanding another scandal, and all eyes are on the embattled TV personality. On Wednesday, as she was headed home from the studios wearing a casual combination of black jeans, a navy varsity-style jacket, and, what caught our eye, these pair of black ankle boots. The New York weather is brisk these days, so we all have our eye on the perfect pair of ankle boots to bridge the gap between walking the streets and achieving an elevated look for dinner. These Rag Bone Newbury boots might just may be the closest thing to perfection for urban living, just the right heel height to be comfortable, yet high enough to be fashionable. Fortunately, we can all get in on Megyn's style. Click right to pick these babies up for $495. Then scroll through our alternatives below. Misguided has a bargain, while Kenzo has a splurge. Prices may not be as advertised. Now get one like it for less. Previous next $475 Kenzo ankle boots at Farfetch Buy now. $198 Hot the Plains boots at Free People Buy now. $90. 99 Seychelles leather ankle boots at Off Fifth Buy now. $52 Misguided black feature heel full zip ankle boots Buy now. Multiple sources at multiple networks tell Daily Mail. That members of Kelly's team have been in contact about finding a new home for the Today host. Those networks are not biting though, with one executive at ABC saying, "We wouldn't hire her in a million years. She's toxic and her personal brand is finished." An insider at the agency that represents Kelly confirmed that the calls to other networks and news organizations were indeed taking place, but claimed that it was all standard practice. There have been some preliminary discussions, but it is normal for agents to be aware of what's out there, but nothing significant yet, said the insider. That individual then added, "I wouldn't make too much of it." When asked for comment, source close to Kelly said that reports of any person on Kelly's team reaching out to other networks was absolutely false. NBC did not respond to a request for comment. Share this article. Share it the same, an NBC executive tells Daily Mail. That Kelly will not be missed if she does decide to jump ship. That hour used to be a ratings hit with Al Roker and Tamron Hall, and it was relatively inexpensive to produce, said the executive. Now viewers get to witness the greatest example of white privilege on television. She defended blackface. "I mean, how is this acceptable in any way? She needs to go." That same executive was also critical of the decision to hire Kelly, calling on Andy Lack and Noah Oppenheim to step up and get rid of the $69 million woman. Andy and Noah need to own this mistake and fire her. There shouldn't be a place for someone with these views to remain on NBC News, said that executive. Andy and Noah both should be held accountable too. They gave her the $69 million and all she has delivered is scandal after scandal. Ad production costs, and they are responsible for a $100 million show at 9 a.m. every morning. Lack was hosting a town hall at NBC on Wednesday, where Kelly's comments were expected to be addressed with employees. Some employees are done listening though, and hoping this is the end of the road for Kelly. Her limited tenure here has been an embarrassing joke. Offends Jane Fonda, kisses Alex Jones. A defends blackface. I mean, what is next? Asked one. Andy, a veteran network correspondent, said, "It's time NBC transferred Megyn from the news division to Bravo. She'd fit in perfectly on The Real Housewives of New York, as all she seems capable of doing is creating drama and controversy." That correspondent then got serious, noting that this is the network that created Barbara Walters, Tim Russert, Maria Shriver and Katie Couric. How the hell did it come to Megyn Kelly? I can't understand how Steve Burke hasn't called and handed Andy Lack his marching orders for overseeing this expensive disgrace, said the correspondent. How must our African American colleagues feel? It's an absolute disgrace and NBC News shouldn't stand for it. Clearly they do, and she'll be on the air again tomorrow. Al Roker went after Kelly earlier in the day, just over a year after the Today veteran was booted from his spot as host of the 9 a.m. hour along with Tamron Hall to make way for the Fox News hire. The fact is, while she apologized to the staff, she owes a bigger apology to folks of color around the country, because this is our history, going back to the 1830s, said Roker. Minstrel shows meant to denigrate a race. You know, I'm old enough to have lived through Amos and Andy, where you had white people in blackface playing the black characters, just magnifying the worst stereotypes about black people. Then, in a pointed barb at Kelly's nonchalant comment about why people were so offended by the practice, he stated, "And that's what the big problem is." Craig Melvin went a step further, adding, "There was some criticism online that this was political correctness run amok, and that's silly, and it's disingenuous, and it's just as ignorant and racist as the statement itself." He then went on to say that, while Kelly was a friend, her comment was indefensible. NBC also covered the scandal on its nightly news program Tuesday night, with Lester Holt devoting a considerable amount of time to Kelly's comments. He also made note of Kelly's comments from 2013 in which she stated that both Santa and Jesus are white. A member of Kelly's panel on Tuesday also apologized for not speaking out at the time. Morning. Want you guys to know how I feel about yesterday. What was said was vile. Not only has blackface always been and will always be racist, questioning that was disgraceful, wrote Jacob Sobroff. I'm ashamed I didn't speak up more emphatically at the table. I'm sorry if I let you down. In response to that, Morning Joe host Joe Scarborough tweeted, "Jacob, you have been a consistent champion for young victims of systemic racism at the border. You are not the problem." Mika Brzezinski also chimed in, stating, "Jacob, you were in a bad position. Good on you for being transparent. You are a great guy." Kelly is feeling the wrath of her network competitors after all the major networks devoted sizable segments to her comments defending blackface on Monday. In response, an emotional Kelly began her program on Wednesday by reading prepared remarks in which she apologized for her comments the previous day. I'm Megyn Kelly, And I want to begin with 2 words. I'm sorry, said Kelly as she fought back tears. She then rehashed her comments before stating, I have never been a PC kind of person. But I do understand the value in being sensitive to our history, particularly on race and ethnicity. This past year has been so painful for many people.